Yo, what's up? Thank you for joining the tutorial. It's Kev here. So today I'll be running you through how I did some of the zoom transitions from Watch the Wick by HP Boys. So this is kind of like a faster overview of how I would do something like this. But if you want a more in-depth tutorial, there is a link in the description which will lead you to our Patreon. Yeah, without further ado, this is a look into what we'll be making today. Just a little note, guys, this tutorial will kind of just be a faster overview of how I do everything, so don't be confused if you see some things in the video that might be a little bit confusing, or you might I might not touch on it. I pretty much run through everything in the Patreon version, but for this one I just wanted to keep it brief for you guys. So if there's some things that you don't understand, don't worry about those things, just follow what I'm doing and you will be able to get this effect. Alright, so the shot that we want to do is we want to zoom out from this group shot and transition through the wheel of this bike. Before we do anything, we need to pre-comp these shots. So move all attributes into new composition and adjust the composition to the selected size. And what we have here is the two shots pre-comped. Next thing we want to do is turn them into 3D layers. So we click this cube icon, and if you don't see it, just hit toggle switches and modes and that should appear. The next thing we want to do is create a new camera. Alright, from there we want to hit the position keyframe of the camera and then scrub forward a little bit, and then what we want to do is drag the Z values of the camera back a bit, so that pushes the camera back in space. Alright, so what you can see here is it's dragged the two layers back because they are 3D layers. And what you can do is toggle over to your 4 views mode, which allows you to see it from 4 different perspectives, and then grab the wheel layer, drag that closer to the camera so it moves forward in 3D space. Then what you want to do is grab the 2 position keyframes from your 3D camera, hit F9 to create ease in keyframes, then you hit this graph editor up here. What that does is shows you the graph, and then you can just drag this back one back a bit. Then what you want to do is hit the Z rotation there and then drag forward and then rotate it a little bit, and then what you can see is that it rotates as it zooms out. From there, select everything again, then hit F9, brings everything back to the default ease in keyframes. I should have done that before. Alright, then we double click the pre-comp for the wheel and then we go inside it, and then what we're going to do is add a little scale keyframe. So yeah, at the start, scale it up, go to the end, and then scale it down. And what this does is adds a slight zoom out. Then we'll go back out of that pre-comp, we'll select the ellipse tool, and we're going to mask out this wheel. So we're going to just select kind of rough area like this, and then drag it into place. Alright, and then we'll scrub through, make sure it fits. Alright, seeing as the shot moves, what we're going to need to do is keyframe this mask. So what we'll do is we'll hit M on the mask, keyframe, and then we'll just adjust it a little bit as we go. And then we'll just change this setting to none so it doesn't affect anything, we can see a bit better. And we'll scrub through, scrub back. Okay, so this part needs adjusting, so we will adjust that. Alright, so we just scrub through, make sure everything fits and the mask is around where we want it. Okay, so it looks pretty good. Next thing we'll do is go back in and we'll change that setting to subtract, and then from there, if we scrub through the entire thing, we kind of see what it's doing here. So it's creating a bit of parallax as the camera moves back through the 2 layers. So I go ahead and adjust the position keyframe of the camera once again, just to give it a bit more of a drastic movement, but later on I do change this back, so don't worry about me doing this right now. I'm just adjusting things so they fit. So next thing we notice is the black space around that shot. So what we want to do is type in motion tile into the effect and drag it over the group shot of the boys. From there, we just change these values to about 500 each and then hit mirror edges. Alright, and then see this black line here, that's not too good. So what we want to do is fix that up. So what we're going to do is just copy that motion tile, double click the pre-comp, jump back into that pre-comp and apply that motion tile effect to the shot inside the pre-comp. And now if you go back out, what you'll see is that little line is gone. Alright, so next thing we want to do is animate the middle part of the wheel coming in as the camera moves back through the wheel. So what we do is duplicate the wheel layer. We're just going to rename it to wheel inside so we know what one it is. Alright, then from there we're just going to solely the wheel, and then over here we just change this back to add. Next thing we want to do is keyframe the position of this layer. So we're just going to keyframe it like this so that it moves back into the original place, and then from there if we watch everything, it looks kind of like this. Next thing we want to do is drag the wheel inside part down underneath the other layer so that it looks a bit better and comes in like that. Alright, next thing we want to do is edit the speed of these keyframes so it comes in a bit more fluid, like that. And with that, that's the first transition done. That's kind of a quick look at how to do one of these kind of zoom transitions. There's different kinds you can do. You can do zoom outs. You can pair them up with other effects like some wipes. Yeah, and then you could even get more creative and then do things like doors opening and then the camera zooming through, that type of thing. If you wanted more of an in-depth tutorial on how to do more of these variations of these zoom transitions, we do have a 1.5 hour tutorial on our Patreon. In that video, I kind of go through more than how to do it. I kind of break down why I do certain things, and yeah, just kind of more foundational stuff to help you do not just these transitions but any other ones as well. So if that's something you're interested in, link is in the description. And with that, thank you for watching the tutorial. I hope you guys learned something useful today, and yeah, I look forward to seeing what you guys make with this zoom transition.